The following program has been generously funded by the Patterson Foundation. This book is cool.
Welcome to This Book is Cool. My name is Beth Duda, and I'm the director of the Suncoast Campaign for grade level reading. We have a nonfiction book today, all about ducks. Ducks Don't Get Wet. It was written by Augusta Goldin, and it was illustrated by Helen K Davie. We have a special friend with us today to tell us why she thinks this book is cool. With us from the Early Learning Coalition of Florida's Heartland, we have Lisa Toscano. Hi, Lisa, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Can you tell us one of the reasons why you think this book, Ducks Don't Get Wet, is cool?
Well, one of the cool things that I learned is they're actually waterproof. So that old saying, like water off a duck's back, is actually true. Their oily feathers keep them from getting wet. So even when raindrops fall, they don't leave the duck wet.
I was surprised by that as well. It's one of the things that I enjoy about reading nonfiction books is all of the knowledge we can gain from them. It almost makes me feel like a scientist as I'm reading a nonfiction book about animals, because it makes me know all of these new facts. And this book was full of them. I've seen ducks look like they were straightening out their feathers. And in this book, I learned that they weren't straightening out their feathers at all. They were doing something else.
Yeah, I've seen ducks preen before, and I just thought that they were cleaning themselves. But actually, they're taking oil from a gland and spreading it to their feathers so that it helps to make them waterproof.
It's just fascinating. And I wonder how people first discovered that. I guess that would be a question for a scientist on how we actually discovered that duck behavior. This book has some wonderful illustrations of all kinds of ducks. Brightly colored ducks, ducks in flight, ducks swimming in the water. It really is the best way to become a duck expert.
You know, there's about 28 different kinds of ducks in the United States with all different kinds of beautiful colors and different feather patterns. It's really neat that there's such a variation of the different kinds of ducks.
What did you learn in the book about ducks' bills?
Well, I learned that they have different kinds of bills depending on what kinds of foods they like. So their perfectly shaped bills allow them to capture the food that's their favorite.
And, you know, ducks are wonderful swimmers, but I also learned some things about ducks flying that I didn't know.
I've seen them flying before, particularly in that beautiful V formation, but I didn't know that they could fly as fast as a car, going 30 to 70 miles per hour.
I didn't know that either. And now every time I see a duck or a group of ducks, I'm going to be thinking about them a little bit differently, all because of the knowledge that I was able to glean from this book. I'm hoping that a lot of children will enjoy reading about the ducks this summer and perhaps sharing some of their incredible duck knowledge with their family and friends. Do you have any advice to us on why children should keep reading this summer?
Reading is an awesome opportunity to really learn things and to be comfortable with acquiring knowledge that you didn't know before, whether it's a fiction book, which is not real, or the nonfiction book, which gives you real information about live things or those things that are realities all around us.
So thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your thoughts about our book, Ducks Don't Get Wet.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and I hope all of you have a wonderful time reading and making yourself available to this book. It's really cool. Thank you.
It was fun to talk to Lisa about our book, Ducks Don't Get Wet. I think she's right. It's great to acquire all kinds of new knowledge by exploring fiction books and nonfiction books. This nonfiction book has some great words for our word bank. The first word is the word gland. Gland. A gland is an organ in the body that produces a substance that can be used by the body, or it's given off by the body. Our next word is the word strokes. Strokes. That means to rub gently in one direction, to stroke. Our next word is the word dabble. Dabble. Dabble means to paddle, splash, or play in the water. Our next word for our word bank is the word route. Route. That means a way or a course taken from a starting point to your destination. And our final word for our word bank is the word thumping. Thumping. Thumping means pounding or throbbing in a heavy, continuous way. It was fascinating to hear why ducks don't get wet. And our activity is to show you a little bit of that science on why ducks don't get wet. I have here some supplies for my scientific experiment. I have a little bit of water in a cup. I have a few pieces of construction paper, and I have a feather. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to see what happens if I put some water on the construction paper. So I'm going to put just a drop of water on the construction paper, and then we're going to be able to see that that water starts to make the whole paper wet. It starts spreading out. Can you see how that's all spread out now? And then we're going to try a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to take a little bit of oil, and this kind of oil is sesame oil. And I'm going to take a little bit of the oil and I'm going to put it all over my paper. So this is the kind of thing that the ducks are doing as they're preening. They're spreading that oil all over their feathers. And look at the difference now when I put a drop of water where I've put the oil. Look, it doesn't sink in. It just stays right there on top. And that's why ducks don't get wet. Pretty cool, huh? Well, shall we try it on a feather? So we have this feather, and I'm going to, on one part of the feather, put some water. Whoops. There we go. Put some water. Did you see how it rolled right off? That's because this feather has already had oil put on it. Look at that. Amazing. I love science because you can learn so many new things. I hope that you will take some time to do some reading about things you want to know about. Remember, reading is the key to succeeding. Now, if you do this experiment, why don't you take a picture of it and send it to us? You can send it to connect@gradelevelreadingsuncoast.net. We've received a lot of cool pictures from people doing all kinds of activities over the past few weeks. And right now, I'm going to share a few of those pictures with you. I hope you enjoy them. and I hope you keep reading. Bye for now.